What's up? We got Arrow Season 6, Episode 1, Fallout. So this episode starts. So, if you can notice, we're finally on Season 6 of Arrow, which means we only got two seasons left. Then we'll be done the series. Kind of sad that we only have 2 seasons left. Then we'll be done the series. But Arrow never went for a 9th season. And I could not close my window. So if you hear some like dogs barking outside or whatever, or hear like buses coming by, it's my window. My window in here sometimes it's closed, but I don't know how to close it. But anyway, this episode starts off with Oliver suited up as the Green Arrow, and we see Renee in a new costume with a new beagle-like mask. And it's all black, and it looks really weird. So they're defeating a new bad guy named Alex Faust, who's basically... So he's like, hey, Green Arrow, that may not be defeating me is because maybe you have traumatic memories of a recent disaster that happened. So let me get a flashback of Felicity. Then we get a flashback of the island of Felicity, Curtis, Renee, and Samantha, and Dinah. And Samantha's like, oh, I'm not leaving without William. So she decides to run off. So that's when the explosion happens. Yeah, all of our main characters make it out alive. Felicity basically couldn't be in that mission because she basically had to knock her mom out and punch her mom in the face and send her back to Vegas. Wow, even though Felicity's mom isn't a character, it's very good. It's cool to see her referenced. Why wasn't she a character? I guess season 4 kind of ruined her with the whole Quentin and her dynamic, so they just couldn't. So season 5 couldn't use her. Now season 6 she only gets a mention. So yeah, what can you do? What can you do? Arrow show. So yeah. So then they capture Alex Faust, but then he breaks out with the help of Black Siren, who basically So she was gonna. So back in the island flashback, for some reason Black Siren has blonde hair in all these flashbacks because I'm guessing that's the actress Kay Cassie had dyed her blonde. So to film the scenes, she had to keep that dyed blonde hair, even though in the previous season she didn't have the dyed blonde hair. So weird that they didn't reuse the other Black Siren scene. So she wants to kill Flint. She wants to kill Dinah, but that's when Quentin knocks her out, and they basically were telling Oliver and the team that Black Siren got killed on Lian. But they're like, if Black Siren died, how did she alive and able to break fast out of prison? So yeah. So meanwhile, Oliver's son William is dealing with a lot. He basically blames Oliver for the death of his mom. Yeah, Samantha's dead, everyone. She died in the Lian you explode. She died because, she's mom in a television show. She's a mom in a television show. So basically, she's a mom in a television show, so she just got killed off by the Lian explosion. And Talia al Ghul they don't even know where'd Talia al Ghul go. Because after her and a cool action fight, she just disappeared. So, she just disappeared. So anyway, we got a fight, and so yeah, she's disappeared. And again, another character who will never find out about it is Evelyn. Because remember, the actress couldn't come back to the show, so Evelyn is never Evelyn is the one character that we never find out is alive or dead. We can suspect that she died on Lian Yu, but we'll never find out. All we know is that Malcolm Merlin died because he never showed up again. Digger Harkness died. Thea's in a coma from the Lian Yu explosion. Samantha's dead. William Tolley doesn't like Oliver. He plays an act for him. He plays an act that he likes him because he blames him for Samantha's death. Reza, Oliver's maid, is back suddenly after not being appeared in season 1? Reza's back. Reza's back. I have no idea her name. So yeah. So she's back. And also Diggle's dealing with hand tremor because the Lian Yu explosion really messed up his aim. So during a prison transfer, but Diana shows up with her full Black Canary gear, mask, costume, and she's like, nice costume. And she's like, she and Black Canary like, nice costume. She would have went for fishnets instead. And then they get into a fight, and they're like, hold Black Siren and don't let her escape. And then they get into like a big fight over, they don't let her escape. So yeah, but that's when Dingle tries to shoot one of the bad guys, but he misses, and Renee ends up falling. Renee ends up falling off of the building and ends up in the hospital. Then what happens is that they say. So then what happens is that Quentin believes this is his laurel again. He's just like, crap, this whole other Earth crap. That's his laurel. That's his daughter. I'm just like, okay, Quentin, wouldn't have Oliver told you if your daughter wasn't dead? And even in the last season, you found out that she was still in the morgue. I don't know how this guy really still believes that his daughter isn't dead just because Sarah's come back before. And even in the episode 19, he was like, to Dinah, he was like, Laurel's not coming back. I don't understand how Quentin, again believes that he was like, oh, you're Laurel, but you're not my Laurel. But then this episode, he's like, oh, who cares about this Earth? The crap about the parallel Earth things is crap. This is his daughter. This is his Laurel. It's just like, Quentin, I didn't realize this show was really writing you this really not that smart. Because do you really need to check that morgue again? Your daughter's dead. This is a different version. Just because she looks exactly like your daughter, but evil. Okay, random Quentin believing Earth 2 World is his daughter's side. Just because she calls him daddy now, every time she and Quentin have a scene, she's like, sorry daddy. I'm just like, you are his. He ain't your daddy. He isn't her daddy. Anyway. So, yeah, it's just confusing me how Quentin really buys this. So, yeah, Black Siren decides to break into the bunker or the lair. I don't know why they call it the bunker. I have a lot of things with this season. The lair, and she's like, and then like John, she's like, don't worry, Felicity. John's fine. He's just catching up with an old friend. So yeah, but that's when Black Canary and Mr. Terrific show up, and she's like, "Ow, you're such a bitch," and she's like, "Takes one, no one, sweetheart." So then they get into like a fight. So then Alex Faust decided to blow up the. So So back with the whole William Oliver situation, Oliver's like, William's like raising, he's like, Oliver, I'm here, and he's like, the Batman's gone. He's like, no, he's not. He's like, who do you think the Batman is? And he points. He's like, where do you think the Batman is? And he points at Oliver. Because this kid thinks Oliver's bad because Oliver killed his mom. And then later he's like, hey, you don't have to like me, William, but I am your dad. Because there's this little storyline now where Oliver goes to visit Comatose Thea, but then Slade shows up. And then he's like, hey, Oliver, I found more leads on Slade's son. And he's like, hey, Oliver, you can't choose between a father to your son and Green Arrow. So, yeah, so then he's like, hey, William, you don't have to like him, but he is his dad. And he's like, he's never going to abandon him, ever. And he's like... So he's like... So he's like, hey, you know, there's a game on, and he's like, you want to see it? And he's like, what game? And he's like, baseball or basketball? And he's like, baseball. And he's like, okay. So this is kind of the start of their relationship. So, yeah. So then Oliver's like, hey, Renee, since Chase ruined your first opportunity to get your daughter back, here's the second hearing for you. So he's like, thanks, Haas. And they hug it out. So then they hug it out. So I think that's... So yeah, but then Oliver gets a news call where he's like, hey, Oliver, and he's like, someone has a picture of Oliver as the Green Arrow. So that was Fallout, and I thought it was a pretty good episode. I enjoyed it. It was the William stuff was okay. He's not the best actor. Nothing against Jack Moore, who plays William, but he's not the best actor. He seems to be starting out. Like, he first appeared in the Flash. Actually, yeah, he first appeared in the Flash season 2, episode 8. And he just seems... He's an okay kid. He's an okay actor. I'm just saying, for his first appearance as a main cast member, he's just okay. It was cool seeing his stuff, what happened after the island, like, Samantha's dead, R.I.P. Samantha. We already knew she was gonna die. Like, who runs into an island by yourself? Not, like, no one chased after her. She just ran up into an island. And now Oliver has to make the promise. She was like, hey, be William's father. And then she just died. So, yeah, Thea's in a coma. Oliver's gonna help Slade find his son. Diggle now has tremor has terrible aim from the lian explosion. Renee has a new mask now, and I just have a problem with it. But anyway, that's it for this video. I'll see you next time for more season 6 of Arrow.